Okay, okay. What's going on, sports fans? This is Pistol Pete, and I am live today. Yes, I am on protest with this Donald Duck hat. This is my Disneyland Donald Duck hat. I love Donald Duck, by the way. My favorite Disney character. But I'm putting him on today because of all the frustrations that have been going on in the sports world. And yes, you know how Donald Duck stutters and he talks loud and he gets pissed off? Yeah, that's me right now. I'll explain why. The Knicks laid an egg yesterday. They went to Milwaukee, and Julius Randle had by far the worst game in this year. The only person that came to play was RJ Barrett. He grew up, and he's coming with it. He's coming to play. Julius did not. The rest of the team, I don't know what was going on. I think they're still on vacation from the All-Star break. They weren't ready. I knew it was going to be a tough game, and I felt that they were going to lose, but not by that much. It was just like a 1-for-1. Nick the Wick, what's going on? Welcome to the chat, Nick the Wick. Yeah, I was just talking about my frustrations, and my Donald Duck hat is my little protest. I'm pretty pissed off. And you know what happens if you watch Disney, Donald Duck character, when he gets mad, things happen that were not supposed to happen. I was also having issues. You can barely see me? Not sure why. Let me see what's going on. Let me try and fix that. Why can you barely see me? Let me take my hat off. How's this? Is it a little better? Let me see. Let me change my resolution. Sorry, Nick. Hold on. My video resolution. How's this? A little better? Let me see. As you can see, I'm brand new. I mean, on my end, when I'm looking at myself, it looks fine. But then I don't know what you guys are seeing. All right, I just adjusted some lighting. And I took my hat off. All right. Deborah Hernandez says it's much better. Nick the Wick, can you see me better now? I'll just wait for a response. Okay, so the Knicks came out yesterday and they laid an egg. Was I expecting them to win that game? No, because if you were on the stream yesterday, good, thank you, Nick, appreciate it. If you were on the stream yesterday, you saw there's a slight delay, a 60-second delay from when I'm talking until when you guys see it. I'm going to improve it. Every day I'm going to try and make this a little easier, a little better. Maybe I need to actually go out and get a real green screen to put behind me, because what I have right now is a solid color. And I'll try and work it out. I am just using a laptop. I don't have the optimal camera just yet. I need to invest in those things, but I will do my best for what we have here. All right, so Julius Randle, right, had the worst game as a Knick this year so far, 7 points. What was that? So basically the revenge game that we had, Milwaukee did to us what we did to them the very first game. So pretty much if we have to see them in the playoffs this year, we have no idea what Knick team is going to show up. And this is one of the things I wanted to discuss, because there's a lot of trade rumors going on. Are the Knicks buyers? Are they sellers at the trade deadline? Do we keep the team as currently constructed going forward? All right. So this is how I feel about it. We need shooters, because I feel every single time. Now the Knicks are what, second or fourth in the league? I'm getting different reports. They're not even first in the league in defense because of last night's game. They kind of lost that a little bit, right? But they're still a very high-powered defensive team. So lab between San Antonio and then this game, the points per game went up. on the defensive side. But the reason why this is happening is the Knicks are giving up throughout the game because they can't hit their shots. And they're being very reckless on when they shoot. Reggie Bullock, I understand Tom Thibodeau loves that guy and wants to keep him around, and he's a saving grace on the defensive side, and he's done a lot of things. To me, that's lip service. He needs to be more consistent when he shoots the ball. It's like he shoots it too hard, way too often. And he's shooting it from all over the court when he shouldn't be. When we have an ISO-heavy offense, we got to have shooters. Guys that can put the ball in the hoop. Peyton, once again, had one of those games when he goes streaky. It's like inconsistent. He'll start off good, and then he'll start missing shots. It doesn't matter. Like, he can be wide open. I don't care. He can be by himself in the gym. He's going to miss. You know, Peyton is not our point guard going forward. I understand he has a no-trade clause. I think he's expendable. I'm going to go back to Julius Randle and keeping R.J. Barrett. Julius Randle needs an extension. Keep him going forward. He had a tough game yesterday, and maybe he fell asleep, but he needs to wake up, and I'm sure he'll come back with a better game going forward. I'm not going to judge him on one game. I'm not. Because there's plenty of other players that could have stepped up and had a game. You know, R.J. Barrett couldn't do it by himself. Emmanuel quickly started off well, and he's still very streaky. So when the Knicks are hot, they're unbeatable. But when they're cold, it's like the whole team is cold, and it doesn't matter what they do. Detroit could have beat them yesterday the way they were playing. Really. And then also, we have Oklahoma City tomorrow. They got to shape up. This team does have grit. They have passion. They have perseverance. I don't think we're going to have 2 games in a row the way we played yesterday. I don't think that's going to occur. But it also goes to show how much Derrick Rose's influence on this team. Without him, we're lost. So, trades. Who can we go after? You know, I don't want to be buyers at the trade deadline. The Knicks have 5 picks in the next 3 years of the first round. Right? We could find our core through that. I don't want to be impatient and trade away what we have now. Like, all right, for example, the Bleacher Report came out talking about they had a Damian Lillard trade. Yes, I want Zach LaVine as well. If we can make a move to get Zach LaVine, fine. If we can have Zach LaVine on a team, R.J. Barrett, and Julius Randle, that would be a great tandem. Yeah, I want Zach LaVine as well. I don't think we should trade for him, though. We could sign him. We have plenty of cap going forward. His contract's up soon. What is it, the end of 2022 season? I believe it is. So, yes, he's on his way to be a top 5 player. He's already there. Like, he came into the league, a dunk contest? What was it? I believe it was Orlando. And he got over and shot over to Chicago, and he honed his game in. And he's improving year by year. Yeah. No. If the Chicago Bulls are willing to bite on that, and we trade Mitch, Kevin Knox, and Obi Toppin with a couple first-round picks, I'll do it. I'll definitely do that. I'm talking about this year and right now at this trade deadline. I don't think we should make any rash moves unless it's something like that. If we can get Zach LaVine over, but there's no movement in that direction. It's like a wishful fantasy, right? So let's keep it real on what we want to do. And I think Zach LaVine has the potential to sign with us. You know, save our cap space. Use our draft assets going forward to draft in more support. Think about that. 5 first-round picks in the next 3 years. We can find some beast players. But we need shooting. Shooting. You know? Yeah, I mean, LaVine would be the only one. Yeah, I totally agree. I agree. I know that they'll talk about Karl Anthony Towns. I want him to come over too, but Minnesota's going to demand way too much for him. And I also think currently, right now, Chicago is going to demand way too much to grab Zach LaVine. Really? You're okay. Lonzo Ball. I'm not sold on Lonzo. I understand he's one of the great facilitators of the game, but we need a guy to put a ball in a hoop at the same time. If he could just shoot a little better and work on that, I'm down for Lonzo. I just don't think he's someone we should grab to be our starting point guard because if you remember, if you watched a couple of my first stream, I was saying how important the point guard is in a Tom Thibodeau offense. And if you have a point guard bricking shots, the rest of the team's going to brick shots too. It's kind of like a snake, and and the point guard is the head of the snake. That's why they call it the point. In military terms, when they say when they're doing a raid, the point is the first one in, right? Everyone follows suit. So if you get a point guard like him, unless we surround with like a shooters that are really consistent, then I would do it. So let's say we grab Lonzo Ball and make him our point guard, right? Archie Barrett's still inconsistent. So now we need a swing man that can put the ball in the hoop. So if we can grab Lonzo and Levine, man. So we have Lonzo, Levine, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and whoever else we could put at center. We need to find a center. But that's where we get five first-round picks. So our scouting has got to be on point. I was so upset yesterday with the way the Knicks played. I did not think they would have come out like that. My prediction was the Knicks losing 110-105. It was a 36-point blowout, just like how we blew them out. Craziness. Yeah, I mean, if he's different than what he was in LA, that's fine. Because just the problem I had with him in LA was he would launch shots and he just couldn't put anything in the hole no matter what he did. So yes, Lonzo Ball. If you're what you're saying is true, Nick DeWick, and his mid-range game has improved immensely, and he could do things that Peyton can't do, like put the ball in the hole in a layup, make those free throws like you're supposed to make, draw the foul. That's fine. Then maybe he won't be a threat from the outside. Then we need an outside threat. Knicks don't have an outside threat right now. I think we're 23rd in the league on offense. That's not going to do anything for us. Nice, Dalvin Tomlinson. I know that was my next subject matter. You go ahead and play your Call of Duty COD. That's lots of fun. I just wanted to pop in and just say how upset I was with my little Donald Duck hat and protest how bad the Knicks played. And yes, Dalvin Tomlinson was the next stream. You go do your thing. You just check out the stream later. If you have anything you want to add that I can bring up content in the future, I will. I wanted to jump in between the games and go today because we have Knicks Fan TV who's really popular, and we have Chris, the Entertainer Talking Sports, is super popular. Therefore, I'm trying to jump on when they're not on, so I have more opportunity to bring other people into the stream to chat and build the channel. Not that it's a community, not a competition, but at the same time, I don't want to be talking to myself all this time. So, thank you, Nick DeWick. I appreciate the support. A couple years down the road, when I get my 4,000 hours of public viewing content live, you're going to be the man on my channel. You'll be my first mod. Promise you, my first mod that I'm going to put in there. And, I do appreciate you. You've been very consistent. You made your promise. You said you're going to support me, and I do appreciate the support. Nick DeWick, I know you're out of here, so you go do your Call of Duty. Have a good one. Be safe. And I will see you next time on the Entertainer Talking Sports stream or maybe on one of my other lives. All right, so now, guys, anyone else that could be coming in later on, I do want to discuss Dalvin Tomlinson moving forward. So Dalvin Tomlinson, if anybody doesn't know, is a tackle for the New York Giants. He's the captain, one of the captains on the team. Dave Gettleman made it very clear that he wants to keep him. We also have Kenny Golladay that has been rumored to sign over with the Giants. Before we make any moves on skilled positions, we've got to reassure our Giants team and our fan base that we're going to keep those hog mollies in place. We already lost one with Kevin Zeitler. We had to cut him. Maybe we could sign him back because the cap is so low, a lot of teams are going to be releasing players that are going to still play with the same team. They just have to take a pay cut. So they're going to sit around with no job for a while, and they're going to try and get offers from other teams. No one's really going to be able to give them the better offer, and they're going to have to. It just sucks. I'm sorry for those guys that need to get paid. They want to get paid. They got to take care of their families, but we are all in that type of situation. Me currently, I'm laid off as a sous chef. There's no job for me to go back to right now. If I take a job, I'm taking a pay cut by 50%. So luckily, I have the unemployment to help us get by. But once that runs out, and I'm not back to work, I got to take about 60 to 70% pay cut, and that's not going to be able to support my family. So, I have to figure something out, which that's personal and that's my own issues. I will work that out later. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because these NFL players, these athletes that are going through the salary cap situation, a lot of them are going to be brought back on lesser contracts. Tom Brady just signed today an extension to play till he's 96 years old. To be real, it's 45, right? But in football years, that's like 96 years old. He's like an old man, right? But he's still balling out. But he took a pay cut once again to clear cap space. So he signed an extension and he backloaded the contract because this year there's not enough money to go around for these players. So he's doing the right thing. Well, these other football players follow suit for a temporary. That's the only way it's going to happen. So we still might get Kevin Zeitler back, right? It's not. We'll move on from him. We could have Nick Gates move over. There's a couple tackles that were released by the Chiefs. There's a lot of people that are getting cut, released, not signing with their current squads. Now, let's talk about Kenny Golladay. Do I want Kenny Golladay? Yes. Is he injury prone? Looks like it. So do I want to sign him for a big contract just to give Daniel Jones and make an emotional decision and just be like, oh, now he's got his number one wide receiver. Now he has to prove himself. Build through the draft. If we can grab Kenny Golladay and he's healthy, we can make this happen. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to stay live for a little while, but once I run out of things to talk about, if there's no one else in the stream, then I'm going to end it. So, Nick DeWick, handle your business, man. Thank you for popping in. I really do appreciate your support. If and when one day I become popular enough and I'm at the level of 20,000 subscribers or whatever, or 1,000, I just need 1,000. Just 1,000. Let me see if I can get it up to 100. Right now, I have 30. And every day I'm improving every time. So, I'm going to try to get to 100 subscribers and just keep moving on. I got to be consistent. I think that's what the audience is looking for, is consistency. I want to bring something different, which is my passion for my teams, my emotional side. There's already enough people out there, content creators, discussing the business aspect and the numbers and, doing GM type, vice president of operations type of moves. So there's no point in me doing that. That's just regurgitating what they're saying. So I want to have my own where it's just natural flowing, and I just go based on what I'm seeing through other news, and I just want to comment on things and know about my teams. I have a couple of subscribers already that like wrestling, so there'd be something I could talk about. There's a lot of conspiracies out there, sports conspiracies, superstitions. There's so many other aspects of sports that are fun that I like to get into. Thank you, Deborah Hernandez. Oh, good job, Pistol Pete. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. So back to the football. I can't really comment on and speculate like we normally could during this free agency off season, just because we don't know what's going to happen going forward. So let's say Kevin Zeitler doesn't take a pay cut, he signs with another team. Okay, and he's probably going to take a pay cut just to do that. So let's say Kevin Zeitler's gone. There's a center, Slater, that I'm interested in. If the Giants can draft Slater, right? I'm not sure what round. So let's just go with second round because everybody wants that skills position in the first round. So let's grab a skills position guy in the first round. Second round, maybe Slater, maybe he falls to the third round. But Slater is someone we should look at. He's a natural center. Nick Gates can move over to guard. We already have Will Hernandez on the other side. We have Nate Solder willing to come back as long as he worked out his personal issues. And we got here on the other side Brown from, so I believe that'll be nice to have. Now, Jason Garrett wants to run with the jumbo set, so we need tight ends. I mean, Ingram's got to go. I'm sorry, he's got to go. I know the Giants are high on him. They want to keep him, and they keep saying that. I believe that's lip service as well because you need to perform. So I'm really, Evan Ingram, if you find this channel, as you see this, I'm begging you, focus on your routes. Please make some catches. If you could do that, we will love you forever. Just catch the ball. We're not asking for anything fancy. Be a red zone threat like you were supposed to be projected to be. When Daniel Jones goes to you, don't cause an interception. Get your hand on the ball. Focus on catching the ball and then go forward down the sideline. Stop trying to go for home runs all the time. Just catch the ball. If you get hit right away, you get hit. It's football. Don't be scared. Take the hit and go down. Hold on to the ball. If you can hold on to the ball, you're good. Right? That's why nobody likes you right now. That's why everyone's on top of you. Because we don't play that mess. Your only job is to block and to catch. Nobody cares that you can run 4-4-4, 4-2. You can get separation, but have you? Have you been a threat so far? Not really. You make these spectacular catches, so we see flashes of it, but we need a little more consistency, a little more blue collar. That's why I like Katie Smith so much. Yeah, he's not the fastest tight end, but at least I know if Daniel Jones throws the ball to him, he's going to catch it more than likely. He's pretty accurate, Daniel Jones. He can get the ball to you. He's not the fastest tight end, so he's not going to create separation, but I know Katie Smith can catch better than you can. And that's a problem because we drafted you ahead of any of the quarterbacks. We picked you up at an early. We had high hopes for you. We had high expectations. We were thinking you're going to be the next Jimmy Graham or the Cowboys tight ends. I forget his name now, but you guys know who I'm talking about. The one those guys retired. My memory doesn't serve me well enough. I'm getting too old now. I need to take some brain pills or something. But we're expecting you to be like a Tony Gonzalez type player, somebody that is consistently a threat in the red zone, someone who's consistently a threat when it comes to making a catch, dude. Just catch the damn ball. Work on that. That's all we're asking for is really do your job. If you guys do your job, New York will love you. We want to get rid of you when you don't. It's just that simple. All right, so first round, Giants, skills position. Kyle Pitts. I want Kyle Pitts so bad. Do I think he's going to fall to 11? No. But if he's there, we better take him. We better take him. Because now there's already other, I know the other day I was saying, it's not a popular opinion, let's grab an offensive lineman instead because of cutting Kevin Zeitler. But come to think about it, that was more of an emotional response. I'm just nervous that there's going to be too many holes and Daniel Jones is going to be under attack consistently. And I'm nervous about that. And if that's the case, they're going to have to blow up everything. I like what we have. Yeah, I would talk drunk about Jason Garrett and his play calling. Some of those plays that he calls, I'm looking at it like, why is he throwing a pass on 3rd and 1? And I guess the only thing I can think of, I guess what he's doing is practicing his play calls as if everything is 100%. Daniel Jones is 100% capacity, the way he plays and his injuries and his skill set. Saquon will be in there, and he's healthy and he's being productive. Evan Ingram being productive. It was a tough season for the Giants, and we were still one game away from making the playoffs. One game. And thanks, Philadelphia, for just laying down on purpose so the Giants won't make the playoffs. It is what it is. You know, we're going to wipe the floor with you guys. I don't care if our record is 2-14. Those 2 wins have come from Philly. We are out to get you. We're going to destroy you guys this year. You get ready. Jalen Hurts. I mean, I was never high on Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have an arm. Is he a threat behind the center? Yeah, he's mobile. But, you know, he needs to work on his arm a little bit. He should have been doing that when he had Carson Wentz being the starting quarterback. You know, them getting rid of Nick Foles. Like, I don't get it. Now Carson Wentz is gone. Nick Foles is gone. And now we got the third guy in line, Jalen Hurts. I see him as a gimmick quarterback. You know, kind of like what they were doing with Hill when he had Drew Brees there. He'll come in and they'll run a wildcat, you know, something like that. I see that with him. I don't see him as a legitimate starting quarterback. But Philly's going to ride with him. Maybe they see something we don't. You know? Dak Prescott, he finally signed that deal. Finally, that drama's over. Every other day, it's Cowboy this, Cowboys that, Dak Prescott this, Jerry Jones that. They can have all of the attention they want because under the radar, the Giants are building something. And we got to stay the course. And we got to keep playing hard. We need Dalvin Tomlinson back. He was a leader on this defense. I understand we have Blake Martinez as a linebacker, but I don't see Blake is already kind of falling into his career. You know, he's like in the middle towards the back end of his prime. So, yeah, is he still a tackling machine? He'll always be a tackling machine, right? But Dalvin Tomlinson's young. That's a Gettleman guy. So we have Leo, who is able to infiltrate the offensive line of scrimmage. He had 11.5 sacks last year and got attacked the quarterback. That could be his focus, right? Then we have Dalvin Tomlinson, his focus on stopping the run. Now, everyone thought, you know, that Leo Leonard Williams was going to be a run stopper. He can be, but at least he's faster than Dalvin, so he can get to the quarterback better. You know, so I see them as a tandem. We've got to keep those guys. To me, it's a must. Yeah, B.G. Hill's coming up, you know, and you know he could play well. I don't know. I don't trust those guys yet. I don't trust them to step up. You know, I go with Jeff Van Gundy. Jeff Van Gundy made a whole thing. I know everyone's like, this next man up, and Jeff Van Gundy hates that, right? He said it makes his stomach turn when he hears next man up. I agree. The way he put it, at first I was like, yeah, next man up. I was on that, right? But then the way he put it, what he said was, if there was such a thing as a next man up, there wouldn't be a next man up. Meaning, the guys that are not starting and not on the field, they're not the best players, right? They're not the same level as the starters. Would a team love to have backups just as good as the starters? Yes, but is that realistic? No. So we really have to be careful on who we get rid of and who's expendable and who's not. So losing Dalvin Tomlinson would be a big hit for us, and we will suffer this year without him. We got to keep Dalvin Tomlinson. We can't keep losing these other guys that are in the middle. Will Hernandez has been a disappointment. He's got to keep working on his game. Matt Pert, I understand he was a rookie last year. Matt Pert's not ready. I haven't seen improvement from Matt Pert. He's a liability on the offensive line. He's like a fill-in guy. You know, you can fill him in for a couple plays, give some people some rest. Joe Judge wants a rotational aspect of the offensive line, so that means they all need to play at an elite level. They all need to be able to come on the field and not falter and not become a liability. They could be situational, and that keeps those guys fresh. You know, nobody realizes that a lot of times these offensive linemen, they're strong. Those guys are tough and they're athletic. And they're constantly getting snaps. And it's tiring being an offensive lineman. I used to play it. It's no joke. You know? But that's why they're big and tough. And to keep them fresh is important. Joe Judge is very unconventional that way, and I like it. If it works, we'll see. Everybody has their own new thing coming on. Every coach comes in, they want to change the way they do things. They want to change the what do you call it? The blueprint, you know, of what's been working in football and what's not been working. This is something new. I like it. So that being said, going forward, we need to get offensive linemen in this on this team, not in this team, sorry, on this team that are in it to win it. And they have to perform. So our scouting is extremely important. Now let's go on to spring training. So Jacob DeGrom, the New York Mets, he was on the mound yesterday. He had a few innings, he dominated as usual. And I understand there's a lot of those players on that were batting and on the field that aren't going to be there come opening day. But we only scored one run. And who did that one run come by? Pete Alonso. He went deep. Francisco Lindor, 0 for 4. We can't have that in the regular season. Now when Jacob DeGrom's on the mound, I discussed it. It was funny how I talked about it. And I said how I'm sick and tired of seeing Jacob DeGrom throw gems, and then the Mets all of a sudden don't know how to hit the ball. It's already transpiring in spring training. Why is that? Someone needs to figure that out because I can't. But I see a pattern. It's been a pattern since Jacob DeGrom's been in the league. And that's going to be an issue. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from spring training. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not liking it. Let me see something. Hold on one more. Quack, quack, quack. That's all I have to say. This is my Disneyland Donald Duck hat. Donald Duck is my favorite character. I know the green screen effect doesn't really work that well. You can't see it. But, yes, I am angry. I am cussing up a storm because I know we could do better. We have to do better. Well, I'm going to keep this stream short today. I'm not going to talk any wrestling news. There's really not much going on when it comes to WWE. I do like the fact that Shaq is over, and he fell in love. Cody Rhodes was talking about how Shaq is wrestling drunk. It's a lot of fun for those guys to do, It's a lot of fun. Those guys really do, they get hurt. I understand it's scripted and it's fake, but just the other day, there was a female performer named Asuka. She's from Japan. And Shayna Baszler is a former MMA fighter, was in the ring with her, and she botched a kick. She kicked her in the face, knocked her tooth out, now she's on concussion protocol. You can't fake that. You could see it in the match where she kicked her, and literally a tooth flew out of her mouth. And she's out. She's not going to perform for a while. So these mistakes happen. These guys really do get hurt, and it's not always... They try not to hurt each other so they can perform day in, day out, because those guys are on the road or now during the pandemic to stay in one spot, but they perform 5-6 days out of the week. And they try not to hurt each other, but they do dangerous things, a lot of dangerous things, and they do it for the love. They do it for the fans, and the money, a lot of times they don't even make that much money. They do it because they love it. They do it because they're good at it. And you compare that to regular sports, a lot of these guys, to me, they're overpaid and they underperform. And once they get paid, they think they're better than everybody else. And to me, that's not right. Because we, the fans, I understand the owners have the big money, but we, the fans, are giving them the money by buying their products, through their endorsements, by showing up, getting their jerseys, buying tickets, showing support and love. That's how the market's raised in value. And all we ask is for our teams, especially in New York, since it's one of the biggest markets in the world, to do their job. Buxo Vert popping in the stream. I was getting ready to get off. What's up? How are you today, Buxo? Thanks for popping in. I was discussing a few things today. I'm not sure how long you've been listening to the stream. I'll do a quick recap for you since there's really no one else here. I had this little hat that I use. I put it on earlier today. It's Donald Duck, and everybody knows how upset he gets. Right? Things don't go his way. He gets frustrated. He has speech impediment issues, and he fights everything and everyone, and he's very destructive when things don't go right. And that's how I feel today, watching the Knicks' performance yesterday. That is also how I feel about the NFL offseason, and that's how I feel about the Mets in their preseason. The way I'm seeing the spring training, I am not satisfied with what I'm seeing. Don't panic yet. I get it. It's early. It's just that there's a pattern that's been happening that I'm not too happy with. The one pattern is the Mets and Jacob deGrom. When he's on the mound, he throws a gem 9 games out of 10. What happens? The Mets can't score worth their damn. I know. I flipped out last night because remember I was saying yesterday when I did the stream, the pregame stream, I was saying I don't see the Knicks winning, but I had the game close, like 110, 105. That's why I don't like doing score predictions. But I did not see this coming. But it just goes to show that when the Knicks don't shoot well, they don't play well. We need shooters. I was talking with Nick DeWick earlier. He wants Zach LaVine. He wants Lonzo Ball. I want those guys too. But what are we giving up? We have 5 first-round picks in the next 3 seasons. 5. No other team has had that many assets. Do you know what we could find in those 5 first-round picks in those 3 years? We could find our shooters. We could find our point guard for the future. Everybody wants to be buyers right now on the trade deadline. You know, if we suck the rest of the season, damn it, that's terrible. You know, I get it, but yo, we got some picks coming up. We can use that to our advantage. Zach LaVine's contract is up, I believe, 2022. I think. Let me look that up real quick. Give me one moment. Because we can make a move without having to trade everybody away, and Zach LaVine's going to want to play for New York and get out of Chicago. Because Chicago is going to be obsolete, and they're going to be nothing anyway. So let me see his contract year. Unless you know it, you can help me out. Then we'll move on with the stream. All right, so it shows here that the Bulls are going to be extending Zach LaVine for 5 years, $189 million. And he'll start next season, 2021 or 2022, with his newly negotiated salary at $33 million a year. That's going to tie us up. We can't take on that contract. Exactly. That's my point, though. Like, I understand it's spring trading, and the majority of the players that are out there aren't gonna be there come opening day. But Jacob deGrom needs help on offense. Like, why can't we score on offense when he's on the mound? Load managing day, my ass. You know, part of my language, but I don't get that, dude. Not at all. Load management. Play to win every game. Those games when Jacob deGrom's on the mound, we need to be doing our thing, you know? So if the Mets can just score 3 runs, we're going to win, and Jacob deGrom's not going to have a 500 record. He could be 20-2, 18-1, you know, 17-4, something like that. Not 11-12 with the ERA of like less than really like 2.36 ERA. You know, sometimes when throughout the season he's 1.75, and then he just starts giving up towards the end of the season, and then he gives up a couple of runs, and he's just like, you know, this is bullshit. Oh, I shouldn't be saying that. This is BS. Boys and girls, I do apologize. I'm really passionate. I shouldn't be talking like this on the stream. I'm gonna get in trouble by YouTube. I can't believe I just said that. If I can bleep myself out, I will do it. That's what I need is like one of those little buttons that every time I'm going to say a word that I'm not supposed to say, it automatically bleeps me out. Hot take here. Emmanuel Quickly is overrated by this fan base. He's good, but he's not a starting point guard in my opinion. You're right. Emmanuel Quickly is not a point guard at all. He's a shooting guard. He has the ability to play point, but he's learning it. Remember, he's a hybrid guard. I like Quickly. A little too streaky for me, though. I think he's trying to do too much in his rookie season. But when he plays with Rose on the floor, he plays off the ball, he's much better. And he had some games at the beginning of the season when he was ball dominant. He did well. The floater was dropping. Now the floater hasn't been dropping. It's been off, so he's kind of faded away from it. He's getting too much in his head. But when Quickly draws fouls, it's automatic from the stripe. We don't have a guy like that. I don't think Quickly should play point. He's a shooting guard. He needs to play the two, so he could be R.J. Barrett's backup. Right? Everyone wants to put Quickly on the floor with R.J., I guess, but he's gotta work on his leadership skills. He's got to work on his consistency when he does shoot the ball. He thinks he's Steph Curry too much, shooting the ball from 30 feet out, 28 feet out sometimes, and it's like he can make them, but don't be doing that all the time. You shouldn't be doing that. He won like 5 games in a row where his floater was brick automatically. It was difficult to watch. I know, but before that, he was hitting his floaters. Now he got away from the floater. There's one thing that shooters say that are in the league that consistently that play well, that are good shooters, that some days are not going to go down. You got to keep going at it. I think there's too much going on in his head. He's trying to put too much on his shoulders. He's trying to do too much too soon. Right now, he's a backup. Keep him as a backup. Let him play the two so he could back up R.J. Barrett. And to me, that's good enough for him. If one day he can rise up and play well at the point, fine. But he is a shooting guard. He's not a point guard. They say he's hybrid because he has the ability to play both. He's not ready to do that. They're asking too much of him too soon, too young in his career. Nick DeWick was saying earlier that he wanted to get Lonzo Ball. And Lonzo Ball has improved his mid-range. He's improved from the free throw line, and he's improved with his attacking, be able to hit layups. But he hasn't improved shooting the three. Under a Mike Woodson, Tom Thibodeau offense, you got to be a shooter. You got to be able to shoot. Because their philosophy is this: if you're open, shoot it. Right? But if you're not a good shooter, you're going to be throwing bricks left and right. Look what happened to Elfrid Payton yesterday. He had a decent start. But then every time he was open, he missed by a lot. It's like as soon as he shot the ball, it's like, oh, brick. But even when he released it, I already knew that he was going to miss the shot. Yeah, I know. Reggie Bullock. I need to get rid of Reggie Bullock so bad. I was like, oh, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's not. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, I want to touch base on Reggie Bullock. He's a really good on the defense, but now even then he's been screwing up the defensive side of the ball. He's making these boneheaded plays. Reggie Bullock needs to be off the team as soon as possible. So if we're going to be buyers at the trade deadline, Reggie Bullock is one of the guys that need to be on the trading block. If we can get a good enough player, if we can get Lonzo Ball in here, and he's playing the way Nick DeWick is saying he's playing over in New Orleans, because I don't really watch New Orleans. I should, because I have the NBA League Pass. But I love my Knicks team so bad that if they're not on, I'm not interested in watching basketball. I'm not an analyst, I'm just a fan of my team. I would trade him for a new rim. Box of Cracker Jacks. I would trade Reggie Bullock for salt and vinegar potato chips. Or, I don't know if you ever seen them. Those buffalo wings combos. The blue cheese and buffalo wings. Yes, I'll trade him for that easily. Yeah, he does. Alec Burks, in the beginning of the season, he was scoring 18 points a game before he hurt himself. And coming from the second unit, the Knicks don't have a scorer. So they have Quickly and they have Burks. And Burks is the veteran, so Burks going to take the lead on that. Burks is another guy that needs to go. If Burks is a support player, he's not a player to go out there and he can constantly score 18 points a game, 17 points, 14 points. This team without Derrick Rose is flat. They're not the same. And that is sad because Derrick Rose is 32. He's almost finished. It's his last stint. When he's done with the Knicks, he's retiring. This is the last time he's going to go. So our point guard, we've got to get a point guard going forward. So if we're going to make a trade at the deadline, let's find the point guard. A scoring, facilitating point guard. So the person that I was thinking that came up in rumors, and the Knicks are eyeing him actually, is Terry Rozier from Charlotte. Terry Rozier is scoring 20 points a game. He has 4 assists a game. His assists are a little low, but who on the Knicks has high assist rate? And the reason why they don't have a high assist rate is because they are getting the ball to the open man, but nobody's dropping the bucket. They're talking about grabbing J.J. Redick, a veteran. Guys, don't sell off our team to grab these old guys. These old heads are only going to be good for 1 or 2 years. Let's not keep making the same mistakes. If we have to suffer the rest of the season to go to the offseason and get good draft picks, good. And if that's the case, during the offseason, we need to be working on finding guys that can put the ball in the basket from deep. Yeah, we need defense, but defense should be part of the game automatically. You shouldn't be a one-sided player. That's the issue with Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox can play. He can shoot from the outside, right? But Tom Thibodeau's not giving him any minutes because he gets lost on defense. And when he plays on offense, he doesn't move without the ball well. He just stands there and waiting for someone to hand him a ball so he can shoot it from 3. That's not going to work, Mr. Knox. Not on this team. I really had high hopes with Kevin Knox. I still kind of do, but I don't think Kevin Knox is going to be with us after the season. If we're going to make trades going forward, Tom Thibodeau is not going to be able to. Tom Thibodeau is not the coach to sit there and be like, okay, let's get some rookies and let's wait on these rookies for the team to grow. He's not that type of guy. He's not. He's going to demand better. This is why he relies on Julius Randle doing 38 minutes a game. And Julius Randle had an off game, so he sat him down. He goes, you know what, you're off tonight. Julius Randle's still on freaking vacation. And he better come back when he goes against Oklahoma on Saturday, tomorrow. Because he went to the All-Star game, had a couple of good moves, and then all of a sudden, he's playing like everybody else on the All-Star. Now he thinks he's the big stuff. I'll say I got to speak proper because I forget I'm live and kiddies could be watching and I don't want to be cussing. But he's a big stuff, right? Don't have that mentality. He still needs to go back to having a chip on the shoulder. Is he satisfied now that he's an All-Star? So he played the All-Star game. Now he's okay. Now he can go back to doing what he was doing last season and the seasons before? I don't think so. Because if that's the attitude he's going to have, he can go too. I don't pull no punches. I don't play around. If I was a coach in the NBA, the players would not like me too much. Just because I understand if you're going to be off, but effort. I need effort. I need smart play. If the guys are not really good shooters and they're missing, okay, well, that's something that you have to work on, right? And why are we grabbing players that aren't shooters? Basketball's about putting the ball in the hoop and stopping the other team from scoring. So put the ball in the hoop, right? So if you're not going to be doing that, we can go. Now, I just looked at Zach LaVine, $33 million a year. That's going to eat up so much salary cap and so much space going forward. That's just too much. These max deals are insane. That's not going to work for us. Not if we're building. You have to get rid of a lot of assets to get Zach LaVine. So why can't we develop a player like Zach LaVine RJ Barrett's on his way. He's only 20 years old. I believe RJ Barrett will be a career Knick. I also believe RJ Barrett is going to take over this team and become the Batman instead of being Robin to Julius Randle right now. Julius Randle, to me, is a transitional player. So, meaning that transitional for RJ Barrett to eventually take over. Right now, it is Julius Randle's team. It is. And when he doesn't play well, and with Derrick Rose being out, we saw what happened. That just goes to show how much of an MVP he really is, though. I know that he's not going to be in MVP talks because he's not the best player in the world. To me, MVP is who's most valuable to your team. Without that player being on your team, what do your team look like? So let's see. Julius Randle played yesterday. He had 7 points. He had a horrible game. Giannis owned him, and the Knicks lost by 36. That just goes to show how important he is to the squad. It also goes to show how important it is for Elfrid Payton to put the ball in the hoop. Because in the first half, when the game was close, Elfrid Payton had plenty of opportunities to keep this game where it needs to be and keep the momentum swinging going forward, and then he just throwing up bricks. Right? And then it goes to show how young Emmanuel quickly is. They're just chucking up shots and just trying to keep us in it. So, yeah, it's just... That was a tough loss. We had to eat that one. I didn't even finish watching the game. When it got to the middle of the third, I shut it off. I had better things to do. I had more responsibilities than to watch my team play like garbage and be pissed off. I got responsibilities as a family and as a husband, as a father. I can't be sitting there and I don't have time to watch trash. Okay, so something's going on my stream. I don't know. I lost it for a second there. Alan Bernstein. Yeah. So, Buxo, what do you want to see going forward? Who do you want? Let's speculate. Do you think the Knicks should trade and grab somebody? Or do you think the Knicks should wait till the offseason to draft people in? I'm sorry, there's a 60-second delay, so that's why I'm waiting for a response. I'll wait for you to get the question. I gotta fix my resolution here. Sorry, my resolution is not doing well. I keep getting warning signs. I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I'll just have to do it another time. I say it's not optimal. No, I'm not getting a message. All right, so let's do a quick update on the Mets game going to spring training. Let's see where they're at right now. I know they're playing the Marlins. The game was tied a little earlier. Yeah, of course, Mets lost 4-2. Who is their lineup today? Okay, so we had our backups except for Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso needs some swing. That's fine. Yeah, we just had a bunch of backup. Marcus Stroman. Okay. Yeah, it's spring training, right? It's just practice, so there's really nothing on there. I just didn't like the fact of Lindor yesterday going 0 for 4. That was not cool. All right, well, I think I've said everything I needed to say. I went off and got my rant off my chest there. And I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be getting off the stream. I do want to sign off soon. I have it's game night in my house, and everyone's waiting for me to eat and play games. So it's Monopoly. So with that being said, everyone, guys and girls, thanks for popping in the stream. I will see you guys going forward tomorrow. We have Oklahoma City and the Knicks. The Knicks are in Oklahoma. Let's hope that Julius decides to wake up and get off vacation and start playing again. And let's just hope that Elfrid Payton decides to play as well and put some balls in the hoop. Yeah? All right, ladies and gents, this is Pistol Pete. Got two guns up for all you haters. And I'm out. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe. Peace.